After a terrifying Thursday night, the danger continues this hour. We are in the middle of a severe weather outbreak stretching all the way from Alabama northward to Kentucky and into Georgia as well. And overnight, that threat is probable even into the Carolinas.
The trail of destruction reveals just how dangerous and deadly this current severe weather outbreak is. We'll show you the scenes and hear from those who survived.
Plus, what would you do if a tornado hits overnight? Would you be prepared? Life-saving information is next on PM Edition, which begins right now. We are continuing to track a particularly dangerous situation this hour. Tornado watches are in effect across parts of the southeast. We're getting new pictures in now from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. This is where widespread tornado damage is being reported, particularly in the northern and western areas of town. We're seeing severe damage, flattened homes throughout the region, and reports of perhaps as many as 13 people injured. 2 people are reported dead from these tornadoes in the area. Hardest hit, the Campton Road area west of Murfreesboro and Tomahawk Trace. 2 deaths reported in the Compton Road area, and multiple houses destroyed and multiple injuries are suspected in this area. We're continuing, of course, to follow these thunderstorms as they have moved out of Middle Tennessee and are bearing down on the eastern portion of Tennessee and southward into Alabama, northward into Kentucky, and beginning to enter Georgia right now as well. We'll continue to keep you updated on the damage here from these tornadoes, but we also want to keep you ahead of the storm. And with more on that, here's Vivian.
And you talked about those storms moving through central Tennessee, Nick. Just within the last 30 minutes, we've noticed them move into eastern Tennessee around the Crossville area, and 2 tornadoes were reported there. Tornado watches remain in effect now. These 2 are out the latest until 10 o'clock local time, including northern Georgia, eastern Tennessee, and the eastern parts of Kentucky. Within the tornado watches, there are severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings. You can see the tornado warnings are mainly here over central and eastern Tennessee and here over the northeastern parts of Alabama. Those are the smaller outlined areas of red. It's all because this line is holding its own. This is the same line that moved through the Murfreesboro area. And again, we had reports of injuries as well as quite a bit of structural damage with the strong winds and the tornadic activity. This whole line is pushing off to the east now. The tail end of the line is moving across the extreme northern parts of Alabama. And in Alabama still, DeKalb, Jackson, Madison, and Marshall counties under tornado warnings. That means that Doppler radar is indicating strong rotation. These are Doppler radar tornado warnings out for the area. They have pushed through the Huntsville area, and they continue to move out to the east to northeast at about 35 to 40 miles an hour. Now, most of these storms are getting ready to cross over state lines into Georgia, and it appears as though they are mainly north of the Atlanta area, but it's still a very ominous looking situation here in northern Georgia, including the Atlanta area, because that is where we have a severe weather watch, a tornado watch, in effect until 10 o'clock local time. Again, it does include the Atlanta area. Now, following these storms over eastern Tennessee, again approaching the Knoxville area, they've already pushed through Crossville, Tennessee, and the Nashville area earlier. Bledsoe, Cumberland, Fentress, Morgan, Putnam, Rhea, Warren, White, Grundy, McMinn, Van Buren, and Hamilton counties under tornado warning. So if you live anywhere over the eastern parts of Tennessee, then please watch out for these tornadoes. They are possible as these thunderstorms are highly capable of producing tornadoes. And notice how it spirals all the way back into the southern parts of Illinois and Indiana. Still, this whole area is vulnerable for severe weather for the rest of the evening. Now, as mentioned, Atlanta, you are in our greatest threat area for the overnight hours. So let's go there live now to the downtown Atlanta area. That's where we have our very own Stephanie Abrams. And Stephanie, it looks as though the clouds are pretty ominous for you right now.
They've been rolling over us, a little bit of sunshine, then you get some darker clouds. But let's talk about the forecast into the evening hours, because what I want to do is keep you ahead of the storm. Maybe you know someone that lives in the south, from Tennessee to Kentucky, even into the Carolinas, and they're not as weather savvy, as perhaps they just don't pay attention to weather as much. I want you to call everyone you know. If you live in Wisconsin, call your family as a friend. If you live in Wyoming, you're watching us, call everyone you know in the south and let them know that there's a threat for tornadoes and hail, because you know what, your friends or family could be at work, they just don't ever turn turn on the Weather Channel, whatever the case may be. I want you to give them a call and let them know that they're under the threat for severe weather. Now, we are under a watch here in the tornado in the Atlanta area until 10 o'clock. All this severe weather is going to move east into the Carolinas. So if you're in the Carolinas and you're heading to bed, or you're going to bed early tonight in and around northern Georgia, also into Tennessee, what I want you to consider is any big trees that are around your house, okay, on the outside of your house. If you think any of those trees are not very sturdy or very steady, I want you to move to the other side of the house and sleep in another room, because you don't need a tornado to cause damage. These thunderstorms can pop out winds 70, 80 miles an hour just like that easily and knock over trees, so you need to keep that in mind. And remember that these tornadoes at night, if they occur, they're going to be a lot harder to see, if you can even see them at all. And 42% of all tornadoes happen at night. 42%. But listen to this. 57% of deaths happen at night. So there are less tornadoes at night than during the day, but more deaths occur at night than they do during the day. Now, speaking of tornadoes, we had one here in Atlanta just last March, and I want to show you the damage because there's still a building in downtown Atlanta, EF2 tornado. Remember, the enhanced Fujita scale, that's what we rank tornadoes on, goes from EF0 to EF5. This is what an EF2 did to one of the buildings downtown, and as you can see, it's just the wind blowing out these windows, perhaps a little bit of debris. And this should be a reminder for those of you who are living in this area where severe weather is threatening. Again, you don't need a tornado. Obviously, a tornado did not go right over that building, but if you get debris flying around, I mean, look at these winds now. This whole big storm system just has a lot of winds associated with it. Get the kids' toys, get the stray branches, get all that stuff, bring it inside so that your windows don't get smashed out. Vivian, I'm trying to find little things that people can do to help protect themselves and their lives, and try and think ahead of the storm from all the experience that we have had and the things that I've seen over the years. Just little things like this I'm hoping can help people out. Nick, back to you.
Thank you very much. Stephanie Abrams reporting live from Atlanta, where we expect to see that severe weather coming into the region this evening. Severe weather, of course, from thunderstorms to tornadoes and even wildfires, just a few of tonight's top stories. Coming up, we'll have a live report on current wildfires, the winds that fueled them, and the next threat coming this weekend. Stay tuned.